Jamaal Lascelles, captain of Newcastle United, how does that sound? How does that feel?
Oh, it's unbelievable, you know, for a manager such as Rafa Benitez to give me the armband for such a big club like this. You know, I'm pretty sure everyone would be feeling the same way I am right now. You know, I can't really describe how I'm feeling. It's still not sunk in, but you know, really pleased, and it's like a dream come true.
When did Rafa tell you, and how did he broach it with you?
Well, I sort of knew from like going off pre-season, the games and stuff, and he would like ask me questions and stuff, probably to test me, to see how I'd react. But he said to me this morning, "How do you feel about being the captain?" And of course, I was really pleased that he said that, and I says, "Yeah, of course. I really want to be the captain. I can't wait to get started." So he told me this morning.
As you say, you'd won the armband in the pre-season. You must have had a little bit of an inkling that yes, this was going to happen. You were going to be the captain.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with this team, it's, you know, you could give it to 3 or 4 players because we have got some big characters in there, and it just goes to show the amount of trust and loyalty that he's got towards me. You know, I'm only 22 years of age, so for Rafa Benitez to give that to me, I'm literally over the moon, and you know, I can't believe it.
Yeah, there were no shortage of candidates, were there? Grant Hanley was captain of Blackburn, and Jesus Games has been a captain. There are a lot of candidates, but you're the man that's been chosen. It must mean a lot to you.
Yeah, it means so much. You know, it just puts me, you know, it makes me feel 10 foot taller than I am. You know, it brings a lot of power, and I feel like I've gained a lot of respect from the players. You know, and it's nice. It's nice for someone to show that much trust in you, and I'll show the same back.
Over the summer, as well as wearing the armband in the games,
yeah,
you've been in charge of a few things off the pitch as well, or certainly helping with a few things off the pitch. How's that been working out?
Yeah, fine. You know, I'll always do my stuff outside the pitch to help the community and help other players and other people. You know, but going back to the games in pre-season, you know, excellent performances from the boys, and you know, we're unbeaten in a while now. People haven't really spoke about it, but we're actually unbeaten. So hopefully we can carry it through to the league.
You say we've been unbeaten in a long time. The last defeat was that game at Southampton, which was actually the game where you came out and made some strong comments, and I think that's probably the game where you really started to emerge as a real leader. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying what I said that day was the reason for us doing so well afterwards. You know, it might have got a reaction from the boys, but I felt like at the time it needed to be said, and ironically after that we was doing really well, and I managed to get a goal the game after, so everything fell really nice into place for me, and you know, I'll always give my all, and the minute I see somebody not giving their all, then I will tell them, and if it means upsetting people, I don't mind. It's just whatever's best for the club and for the team and for the rest of the boys and for the fans.
For some young players, it could be a burden wearing the armband. To you, do you think it's going to bring out the best in you, make you even better?
Yeah, of course, because I know myself, I've got to be on it. It's a lot of responsibility, and you know, I probably will take some criticism some time down the line, and I will probably get a bit of stick for whatever reason. But that's the job you take when you wear the armband, and I think you've got to be a big character, and you know, you've got to be a dominant personality to take that stuff on board, and you know, I will cope with it fine, and I'll manage it, and you know, I've got a lot of support from the boys. You know, they're all really pleased that I'm captain, and you know, my family are really pleased, and yeah, so I'm over the moon.
Does it come naturally to you, the leadership qualities that you show?
I'm just myself. I mean, if I feel like something needed to be said, then I'll say it, and I'm not afraid to tell people. It doesn't really matter about your age. So you know, I do look at other captains though, and see how they act with players, and not just stuff on the pitch. There's a lot in the change room and stuff, and you know, I've got a lot to offer still. You know, I'm 22. I've still got a lot to offer, and the future is bright, especially with Rafa Benitez, and my main goal is to get this team back into the Premier League.
Which other captains do you admire then? Who would you try and base your leadership on?
I've not really looked at a player individually, but it's got to be a centre half. You know, Rio Ferdinand for me as a kid. You know, he's such a role model for me. You know, the way he plays and the way he handles people as well, and he's such a dominant character. But you know, when I first come here, I used to look up. I still do. I looked up to Colaccini. You know, he was such a gentleman. You know, he showed a lot of respect. All the staff love him, and you know, I learned a lot from him, unnoticed, but I did learn a lot from him. Even little stuff around the training ground, sorry. So you know, I'm just, you know, for him to give me the armband, I am really pleased.
And how much are you looking forward to wearing it for the first time properly now on Friday at Fulham? Because yes, you've worn it in friendlies, but this is going to be very different, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it, honestly. You know, I can't actually put into words how happy I am right now for, you know, it's Newcastle United. If you look at the captains over the years, you're talking about, is it Nolan and, you know, Alan Shearer and massive players like that. And, you know, I'm not even going to say you could dream of it, because you can't dream of this. You know, as a kid, you wouldn't think you'd be a captain of Newcastle United. It's unbelievable. It's such a big spotlight and such a high stage. And for me to carry this team and, you know, lead the team out for games it's phenomenal. And you know, I'm also really pleased with myself for getting where I am, because I didn't really play much last season. It wasn't until towards the end where I started to get a few games. So you know, it just shows how fast in football things can turn around.
And come the end of the season, is the goal that you're the man, the captain, who takes this team back into the Premier League?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we'll take things step by step, but you know, we've got a great squad, and we've got Rafa Benitez for the whole season now. So, you know, the fans are pleased with that. We're all pleased with that. There's a buzz around the ground which I've never seen before. There's a real uplift beat, which is nice to see. So, you know, there's no reason why we can't get ourselves back into the Premier League. We should do.